Hello. Wait a minute. Too red. All right. All right, ladies. I'm here. I'm here. If you can see me, if you can hear me, okay, type one or give me some hearts. I am here. I am present. I am here. I am present. Okay. I am here. So if you are here, give me a one in the comments or hashtag live, hashtag replay. Live if you're watching me live, hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Monday. Definitely I apologize for my tardiness. I had a phone call to come in and got a little bit behind, so had to take care of that and then had to hop on the live. Hop on the live. Okay, so hope everyone is doing amazing this morning. We are going to talk about the law of assumption. I'm going to talk about the law of assumption today. I haven't talked about that in a long time. If you're watching live, like I said, comment live, please. I would love for you to do that if you can. I know that some of y'all are driving, but this will definitely help that algorithm. Let me know if you are here. I would love to know. It is absolutely in so many ways it's free to do just that. So if that is something that you can do for me, that will be awesome. If this is your first time joining me, I'm Coach Jay. I am a business and leadership coach. Definitely deal with the mindset as well. Coaching does focus on the mind as well. A lot of people don't realize that. So you have to do a little mindset work for your clients because you are moving people from one belief system / identity to another, along with skill sets to help them to become better, to improve performance problems. Okay, so I am here. I am here. I'm excited to be here. And so we are going to really focus in on one of the universal laws, which is the law of assumption, one of my favorites. So in this particular law, right, in this particular law, we're focusing more so on the truth, okay? When we in the work that I do, even though I coach women in the realm of business, even though I coach women in the realm of self-concept, as well as the tangible, which is, helping them to scale and grow their business. Hey, Sasha, good morning. I'm helping women with that. But even helping them in that, the concept of the self has to also change. So concept of self is basically what you think about you. Okay, it's about what do you think of yourself? What do you think about yourself? And what do you think about yourself in the work that you do? And I think a lot of people don't realize that when you are trying to manifest, when you're trying to bring things in, the universe, because the universe is God's creation. Depending on how you look at it, if you look at the universe as God, the manifested algorithm, the whole formula of the universe is as God, then absolutely that's God to you, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, everybody doesn't have to believe what you believe. This is why we talk about truths. Hey Zoe, good morning. One of the things too is that with the work that I do as well, it involves the mindset and mindset reformation. So women have to think differently in order to bring in. And many times, a lot of people do not bring in because the universe gives you who you are, not by what you ask for. I want you to understand what I just said. You are given what you are. You are given the manifestation in accordance to who you think you are, to who you believe you are. It gives you in alignment to what you think about yourself at this point. Which goes to my next point, is that when we go into this world, when we're born into this world, we're born into a world that's already done. This is going to be good. We were born into this world, and the world as we were born into it was already birthed. We just came into the show, okay? But we came into the show having zero idea of what we were doing. We didn't know anything. We barely knew people. We had to get to know these people, the family. We had to get to know how to navigate through this realm, right? Alphabets, language, how to ask for what we desired, all these things. And then the conscious memory started to kick in probably around 3 or 4, maybe even 2.5, 3 or 4 years old. When you think back to your first memory, if you can chime in the comments, go all the way to the earliest memory of what you had when you were a child, your first memory. Not when somebody told you that you did. Your eyes were open, and this was the first thing that you remembered as a child. How old were you at that particular point? I'm going to stand here and tell you that the first memory I have was around 4 years old. My first memory. I was 4 years old. What was the age of your first memory? Like I said, it's not what somebody told you that you did when you were 1.5. It wasn't something that you did when you were 6. But your first memory of this date that you can remember when you opened your eyes and you knew like this was going on. Right. Most children, their first memory is at the age of 2.5, 3, or 4. Most people, especially our age, millennials and maybe even some Gen Zs, Gen Xers, they always say around 4. 4 is a very, very significant number. But most people manifest around the 2.5 to 4-year-old mark. That's when you had your first memory. So where am I getting at? What is the point of that? You came in to singing something already done per your consciousness. You were not conscious before. You were existing and you kind of went by a subconscious because you were still connected to spirit. This is why you don't remember holding a bottle at, 7, 8 months, or you don't remember taking your first step. All these things, you were still connected to spirit. So when you were a baby, all the way up until maybe 3 or 4 years old, right? That time you were going off of instinct. Spirit had put this in your DNA to cry when you were hungry, to sleep, to wake up, right? To use the restroom, to, get rid of waste, and to also smell the mother, to know what your father smelled like, if you how you knew you were being nurtured and cuddled, how you knew you felt safe in certain areas. So it just depends. But that spiritual DNA was very much so highly activated around that time. The reason why you're here is because somebody did something right. Now, you may have had some issues in the past, maybe some, back and forth back in the day. But during that time between the age of 0 to maybe 3 to 4 years old, or whenever that first memory kicked in, you were still connected to the spirit realm. After that, when your eyes opened, you saw the world by which you were living, and you still didn't know what it was until you grew up a little bit more and you understand what no meant, you understand what yes meant, you understood those things. Before you were told these things, you really didn't understand until you woke up and you realized that you were walking. You realized all these people around you. That was your memory bank. Okay. So, with that being said, you were indoctrinated, you were influenced, you were invested, you were given and sold, people sow seeds into you in terms of your thoughts, your belief systems, how to navigate, how to communicate with others, lack thereof, whatever it was from that point forward until you woke up again. There are several times of awakenings. What does it have to do with law of assumption, Jay? What is this? What does it mean? It's assuming that what your parents, what your family, what your pastor, with your teachers, what your first boss, all those people told you what the truth was. And because there was a level of trust that you had in these people, because these people were supplying your emotional needs, your physical needs, your shelter needs, you depended on them for a level of safety growing up as a child. So you assumed that what they said, what they taught you, what they were giving to you, all about life's here, there, and everywhere, about relationships, about work, all of these things were assumed to be the truth. Even now, people are still going by way of the truths that they were given when they were children or when they were coming up. They never woke up from their own truth. So along the way, you began to learn more about yourself. You began to get around other conversations and other people that spoke differently than the way you grew up. Because some of us grew up in that tunnel, in a tunnel where this was it. You didn't know nothing else. You had limited exposure. Does this make sense? I'm just trying to set the foundation here. So the foundation is I went to school at this school only. I grew up in this city and I grew up in this neighborhood or a neighborhood like this. And this was what I assumed to be true. You know, everybody in my family had food stamps. Everybody in my family worked at the warehouse. Everybody in my family went to this school. Everybody in my family, they had this kind of job. Everybody in my family or my friends, they went to this kind of church. We did this. We only traveled this far. We didn't do all this other stuff. These were truths. And so you grew up thinking that this was the way of life until you had a paradigm shift where something you were put into a different environment that challenged all this stuff that you believed in. And it opened up your thought process to start thinking about other things outside of what you were told to believe. Amen, somebody. So the law of assumption it was always in motion. That's one thing about the universal truth and the universal principles. They were always in motion, whether you were conscious of it or not. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if you were up on game about that. It didn't matter if you knew about it. It didn't matter. You were always under the operation of these universal principles, which goes back to the scripture in your ancient, your Bible that says that God is no respecter of persons. God is not a respecter of persons. So, which goes back to God is no respecter of persons. God has no favor. There's no such thing as favor. I know that's something that we have said that God favors me. It ain't favor. It's just that you were in alignment to the law according to who you were embodying at that time. And when you are embodying a concept, you stepped into the inspired action, and the inspired action allowed you to line up and get into alignment of the manifestation by which you requested. And then, because you can go from embodiment to embodiment. Did you know that? Ain't no favor. I know just what you want. I know that's something that, we were taught in church. I'm favored. You're not favored. You're really not. You just were under the law at the right time. Because if that's the case, it wouldn't be no debts. You wouldn't have no debts. If you were favored for real, there wouldn't be no debt. You wouldn't have no credit card debt. You wouldn't have you be in your mansion. You will already be where you're supposed to be if you were a favorite, because a favorite of God is somebody that God specifically, no matter what. But see, you weren't born into that type of mindset. So you have to create that. So when we look at wealthy people, when we look at rich people, and obviously the ones who are morally upright, in so many ways, whatever you call moral, you got some people that go by the laws. And people like to make themselves feel special when they are in lack, right? So we tend to think that the ones who don't have as much money, or the ones who are struggling, or the ones who say, just why we have that little saying that goes around where, always taking longer for you because you're not scamming and you're not doing this. No, it does not mean that is so far from the truth. It's just because it's taking you too long, you're just taking too long. Sometimes you're just procrastinating, but it has nothing to do with you not being a scammer. That's crazy. To think that people that are going faster than you are scamming is absolutely, completely ridiculous. And because we need something to justify why we are not going and doing what we need to be doing at the time we're supposed to be doing it. We want to believe that what we're doing is morally upright and God has quote unquote favor over our life, when it's really just you procrastinating. It has nothing to do with scamming. Because first of all, ain't nobody got a scam to go fast. Maybe they just know how to sell. Maybe they're just really good at managing their time. Maybe they're just good at managing it. Maybe they're eating better. Maybe they have a offer that they absolutely believe in and they don't care if they're going to find a yes, no matter what it takes. We tend to make up things when we're not in alignment, right? Okay. So law of assumption, and that's why I challenge people when they say things like that, like I'm favored, that you're really not. You just manifested at the time. You embodied, you stepped into a spiritual identity, the embodiment, and the universe, the algorithm shot it to you because you were in the right place, in the right alignment. Because in the spirit realm, there is no time. Time is here because we have a body. This body does age. How fast you age is up to how you lead your life. That's why sometimes when you see women who have lived a hard life, they went through a lot of stress and strife and all this kind of stuff, they tend to look older than what they really are. That's why a lot of these teenagers and women in 35, 40 years old are, they look so old because they went through so much. And they, took so many chemicals into their body because they assumed truths and they lived by those truths instead of creating new thoughts. So going back to law of assumption, what is the law of assumption? What is it? It's one of the 12 to 13-ish universal principles. God is principle. This is what I had to learn. I thought God was a person. God is not a person. We have personified God because we need a person. But God is an energetic source. It is the greatest, most dominant, creative, intelligent force in the universe, source, period. And principle is law. So no matter what you do in accordance to the law, that you shall receive. This is why sometimes it perplexes people, especially when you've been moral, because the Bible, you're taught that the Bible is a moral book. It's not. Read Leviticus. There's a lot of stuff in there. And y'all say the whole Bible, so because that's in itself too. People say, well, the Bible, baby, there's a lot of stuff in there that you shouldn't agree with. The law of assumption says, in its states, and I already know I'm challenging people. They're gonna log off in a minute. I'm gonna see that number go down. States whatever you assume as true becomes your reality. Why is that? Why is the law of assumption states whatever, anything, whatever, all that, whatever. Okay, I'm just saying that whatever you assume as true, it becomes your reality. So if you believe you're going to be in the hood all your life, you're going to be in the hood all your life. If you believe that all men are bad, then that is going to be your reality. Where you live is the byproduct of your belief system until you change it. Neville Goddard, from 1905, he lived from 1905 to around 1972. I believe he died around that time. He was big on feeling is the secret. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Assuming the feeling of your desires being fulfilled. That was one of the key principles under the law of assumption. Assuming the feeling. I want you to keep that word, assuming the feeling of your desires being fulfilled. The Lord will give you the desires of your heart. The Lord is law. Anytime you read the Lord is good in the Bible, Lord means law. There's nothing deified about Lord. You can be a Lord here in the earth realm if you have land. They call them landlords. Lord is the chief ownership, is the law of the land, the Lord of the land. It, to be quite honest, the House of Representatives are lords. Did you know that? They create law. They are the laws. Lord, I bless you. The law. Because we're good for that. The Lord is so good to me. The law is so good. How is the law good? Look at your life. Did the law work out in your life as of current? See, when you look at your life today, when you woke up this morning, you woke up by way of what you saw, by what you believe to be true for you, even if nothing really a lot changed. Okay, here we go. So this is one of my favorites, the law of assumption allows you the ability to manifest within 24 hours. It takes 24 hours from 1 to 3 days max to get what you desire from the spirit realm to materialize in this plane. You're in a manifested, actualized plane. Do you get this? Am I clear on what I just said? Here we go. I wrote out this email yesterday in my Substack, and one of the things I said in that email, I said, in from the book of the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ, is stated, man is the Lord of all the plane of manifest. The Lord of the plane. Veronica, I've read about this years ago in Protestant church and was told it was demonic, and be careful what I read. The church system does not, and I'm coming from a place of neutrality. Okay. I'm not coming from like I'm here to attack. I'm not here to do that. Okay. I want to make sure I'm very clear on that. Whatever you believe to be true for yourself, if you need church, go to church. Okay. If you need revival, go to revival. Whatever it takes for you to root yourself in a belief system, you do what you need to do. But I am here to tell you that the system of the church, okay, the institution of it all, does not promote self-actualized behaviors. It does not promote or support self-empowerment, enlightenment. It does not support that, because you need to always be in a space where you need them. There is no ascension. Most other religions have a path of enlightenment. Christianity, Protestant, I told y'all the other day, Protestant Christianity is not an ascension. There's no path to ascension. There is a dependability, a codependence that they keep on the church. That's why you see a lot of people that still go to church and they're always anxious. They're at the altar every Sunday praying, like, I need to get rid of this problem. Why haven't you got rid of the problem? Because they've never been taught how to do it themselves. And this is why I believe Jesus was a great teacher. If you can look past, oh, he came here to die. If you look at his message, he talks about manifestation all the time. He didn't want nobody depending on him, which is why he said, I gotta go. And people were like, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. No, he was, I gotta go. Because y'all, first of all, it was, and I'm paraphrasing, it was like, because y'all gonna be so dependent on me. You're not, he taught you how to use your mind. So Neville Goddard talked about the mind a lot and visualization. One of the things that people fail to realize is that the principle, the chief principle, and you can call God principle, period. Principle teaches us that in order to get what you desire, it's got to come by way of what you see. You got to see it first. Principle is imagery. So before you open your mouth and say, I am wealthy, I am healthy, no, you're not. If you can't see, and even when you see it, you have to believe and know that it's true for you today. Okay. The first thing is, first though, is that you have to, in order to operate fully by the law of assumption, which is, like I said, is my favorite laws. The law of assumption is to believe something to be true. Okay. So I have to understand that, what do I believe to be true for myself right now? Because whatever you believe to be true for yourself right now, it involves your current reality, and knowing that even then, when I say that I see myself doing this, and I see myself with these characteristics, and I see myself with this type of behavior, I ignore the current circumstance. This is why even when I go to bed at night, and this, let me help you with this. Let me help you with this. Thank you, Spirit. One of the things that come up is a lot of people say that, I want to manifest clients. Okay, you can do that. You know that, right? It's very easy to do. It's very easy to do because you don't manifest money. Let's start there. Stop manifesting money. You don't manifest money. Money is not what you want. It's what on the other side. You can manifest whatever you want with or without money. You can manifest a person doing right. You don't want me to go there. Because according to the law of assumption, one of the sub-principles of that is that no one has free will. You ready for that conversation? A man ain't acting right, use the law of assumption. That's why a lot of people, like, you hear them talk about SPs a lot, significant person or whatever they call it. I don't know, it's SPs. I think you see that more common when people are talking about SPs and significant others or significant person. Somebody that they, an ex or somebody like that. If they are just absolutely trash, the universe is going to spit them out. So, nope, that person is completely out of alignment. Honey, we're going to have to go higher. You're going to have to manifest a person, not a, you can do a specific person if you want to, but it's going to take you. It's going to take you some time. Because you also got to line up to what that person, when that person comes up, that you have to also come up to their reality. People don't realize that. You want your person to get better for you at the state where you're at, and that's not how it works. You want them to come up. No, you got the level, you got to come up too. And people don't realize that. That's why you keep losing them. I want my ex to do this. Okay, so are you prepared to meet him at that level? Because if not, he gonna keep leaving. He gonna get there, and then you ain't gonna be there. But it's a deeper well. But you can manifest clients. You can manifest opportunities. And it don't take money to do. And I think that's the things that people really fail to realize. Like, you don't have to have money. You can get whatever you want without money. And some people think it's the little things. Like, you could start off with small things. Like, I want to manifest a coffee today, or I want to manifest free lunch this week, or I want to manifest all expense paid trip. The smaller it is, because your brain is going to be, y'all know how the brain works. The brain always searches for evidence. The brain is the machine. It's the manifested version of the mind, right? So it's after the fact. Just look at your brain as the past in an organ. It's your soul in an organ. It's just a machine. It's firing off synapses and electricity and sparks and stuff like that in your head, but it's also creating neural pathways every time you learn something new, every time you discover something new. And it's like an aha moment. It could be a revelation. It could be something like that you have learned and you achieved, and now you know how to do it. And that neural pathway is created in the brain. So if you need evidence of the power of how you manifest, then you're going to have to start as in spaces where it don't shock your nervous system. Because some of us will manifest big stuff, and then you come right back down the next week like, oh, I just wish. And I'm like, did you not understand what you just manifested last week? That's what a lot of people do. Like, you forget your testimony. I always tell people, go back to when you manifested that big old client. Y'all, lest we forget. All you gotta do is go back to the feeling. That's good right there. I just gave y'all probably about $5,000 worth of insight right there. It's the feeling that you had. Go back to how you felt when you did that. That's called embodiment. Did you know that? Let's break that word down. Mm-mm. What is embodiment? Oh, I have to, it's something about embodiment is the visible form of an idea, quality, or feeling. It's the representation or expression of something. It's the visible form. It's you in it. And you take your feeling with you. Dreaming and embodiment is two totally different things. You can dream and imagine like kind of see yourself doing stuff. You'd be like, man, that would be so dope. But you got to feel it. Embodiment is feeling what you see. That's how you bring your brain with you. Your mind has to, the emotions got to come in there with you. That's why when people say, I just need a laptop, but I'm just going to get the cheap one. Why would you get the cheap one? Because your feeling is, I can't afford a brand new laptop. I've had clients that manifest new laptops, brand new. I'm talking about with no money, giving laptops. That's happened to probably 2 or 3 of my clients in the last like year. When people say, I don't have a laptop, I really just pray to get a laptop. No. Go look at the laptop you want to go get. Why would you want an old one? Why would you want a cheap one? You're doing God's best work. Why would you want to go and get a cheap laptop? The Mac that I got right now, the Mac, what's this thing called? MacBook, yeah. The MacBook I got, I manifested that within a week. I went to Best Buy and I said, I want the brand new. I said, I want the brand new MacBook. I don't want no use. Don't give me one that's old that somebody else can have. I want a brand new out the factory. I said, ain't nobody got no money for them. Did you hear what I just said? You hear that? And I said, that's what I said. People fit. As soon as I say, I want the brand new one, this is when your mind starts bringing up limitations. I ain't got no money. I can't get the Best Buy right now. What if, what if it costs this? And what if all these, because you're thinking about the how. You don't put yourself over there. This is where principle picks up. When you allow yourself to start calculating the how, you doing God's work. That's not your job. Stop going after stuff that you ain't supposed to be going after. That's God's job. You ain't even smart enough to think of a way to get that. Don't you know that if the first time your brain starts telling you, oh, but you tell yourself right now, first of all, you ain't even smart enough to figure that out. This is one of the things I tell myself as soon as my brain starts creating excuses, because your brain looks for ways to keep you safe. That's your brain's job. Your brain's job is to keep you safe. It doesn't want to let you down. It doesn't want you to be disappointed. Your brain's job is to keep you at homeostasis. It wants you to stay at normal, unbothered. And as soon as you start thinking about stuff, you start thinking about, oh my gosh, I got to do it. And then your nervous system. Your nervous system starts jacking up on you. This is how when even people, when they say that, I live my faith. No, that ain't faith. That ain't faith. You trying to put that on someone else. You are in control of your own reality. You are in control of your own reality to an extent that is in this realm. This is why you have to be very careful when you listen to people and their excuses, and you tell them, my ideal client does not do this. When people tell me that my prices are too high, I don't say, oh, well, maybe I need to pull it down. No, I just say, this is not my ideal client. Because my ideal client is, the truth is that my ideal client can afford my rate. They can't afford it because it's their truth. That's why I tell my clients, like, stop going back and forth with people about your prices, because why would you? Maybe it's too expensive. Maybe you need to go up a little bit more. Because your belief system is stuck down here. You ain't got to cheapen what you're doing because of the economy. In my world, come on, somebody. Oh, it's inflation. I don't care what's going on. This is why I've been holding steady for the past 2 years. I don't care about what's going on out there. When God gave you this business, I'm finna help y'all. Let me bring you back to square one. When y'all sat up there in the bed and, looking at somebody's life, and you got it in your heart that I need to take this business seriously. When you were in that space, if God told you, if God, principle, or spirit dropped in you that you are here, part of why you're here is the vehicle is the business. You are here to live a fulfilled life. The fulfilled life is going to come by way of a vehicle where you are free, creative, able to do this, that, and the third. And when you have that notion and that thought, that belief, the business is valid through any economy. It does not matter. It is an eternal thing. So you don't have to do a whole lot of waving around, and what you do is make it easier for your nervous system. But it don't change the fact that the business, you have to cheapen everything in order to get your ideal client. That's crazy. And if people are complaining about, well, why y'all offering so much? Ain't nobody got no money. In your reality, this is where law of assumption comes in. In that person's reality, nobody can afford whatever. Look at their life. Of course they can't. They've cheapened everything. They've done discounts on everything. I can't afford this. I can only do this. I can only pay for this. If that is your reality, that's going to be true. This is why you got to be careful in zip codes and cities where you live. Zip codes have an energy. Unless you know how to master that energy. Cities have an energy. When you are exposed only to the people in that city, and people just, I just want to serve people in Nashville, or I just want to serve people in Jackson, Mississippi. Y'all quiet on me. Wake up. I don't care. Well, you just tell me, well, Memphis ain't got it like that. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They do got it. But I'm not going to limit myself to Memphis. And you got to tell, I love that, Sasha. You deserve pretty spaces. Like, I don't understand. Like, you need to do the work on yourself with it. I'm telling you. You got to do the work and say, you know what? I deserve to do God's best work in my life in pretty spaces. I need to be in pretty spaces, and I need to have pretty furniture, and I need to create a pretty environment around me. And I need to feel safe and secure as I'm doing this work. Period. That's a truth. The only reason why a lot of people have created this truth that you can and that you need this and you need that and you need blah blah blah. That's a truth that you need to debunk. Don't you know it's only true when you believe it? It's only the truth if you believe it. If you believe that you can't, that ain't nobody here, everybody here ain't everybody. Okay. Yeah, they got to hear, but it's also a globe. I mean, or a world, or whatever type of earth we're living on. I'm global. I don't hold my energy to just one zip code, one state, one area. That I go into all the world. If your business model, and I'm talking to women, if your business model does not give you a global earthly foundation so that you can go in clients from anywhere in the world, you need to change it today. You need to get out of the mindset of your city. I don't care. This is what that's one of the biggest issues is that you think that you are limited to just your city, your state. This is why you still trying to get the people in your family to come on board and support your business. Why can't you change the truth? You know you can create new truth, right? That's all it is. You can change the truth. You got to challenge your belief system. That's not true. Find evidence. Your brain always goes by evidence. Create new evidence. Create new evidence. Create new evidence. What do I see for myself? I used to write down names of people that I wanted to manifest as clients. I do that from time to time. I used to tell clients, write down their names, and they're coming. They're on their way. I used to manifest them all the time. And they did amazing. Nobody has free will in your world. That's a very, very, very tough fact to adopt in this law because you're taught that everybody has free will. They kind of don't. Everybody ain't got no free will. Free will, there won't be no taxes. Free will, but they'll say, well, you got consequences, so it's not free will then. But what I can do is manipulate energy. Did you notice that's what you're supposed to be doing? Did you know that? Did you notice your job? Your job here is to manipulate energy. Did you know that? Have you ever heard that before? Dolores Cannon is one of the women who she's not here anymore, but she pioneered the whole past life regression phenomenon. And one of the things she said, and I thought it was so good, she said that you didn't come here to convert anybody to any religion. You didn't come here to make people believe something. But what you did come here to do is to manipulate energy. This is why you got one half of the world like, oh my gosh, there's so much killing and Hamas and all this kind of stuff. You got one side obsessed about stuff that they cannot control, which is, they're not in stoicism. They're dealing with, we have to talk about Congo. And I understand the world has always been in war, but instead of them paying attention to the nucleus and the issue, they would rather say, oh my gosh, pay attention to what's going on over there. If you can't get up in your car, in a ship, a boat, or whatever, and go over there and be in it and stop it right then, it's not that you're ignoring it. It's you just know that's a dimension that you don't have any control over. And it doesn't mean you don't care about those people. It just means that you already know that your control or your ability to stop is something that is outside, is bigger than you. And it's a lot of energy because when you talk about energetic manipulation, you got to remember that energy is coming from you. This is why a lot of times when you do manifest something big, you're very tired afterwards. You notice that? You may not even notice that. You get very tired because you can't, like, it's that energy, you rev up. You rev up to bring it in because you need that power to attract and magnetize it towards you. Women are known to be magnetic. That's our strength. This is why men, they say that he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor from the Lord/law, because women are magnetic. It's been said that when men marry, their salaries increase. They make more money because the woman is proficient in the law. That's why I always say, look at the man. If the man ain't healthy, if the man is not making more money, that wife does not know laws. She doesn't know how to magnetize. I don't care. What are you trying to say? Know the laws. If you're a wife, your house should not be in lack. Your man should be empowered when he comes home. He should not be fussing about the house and why you ain't cooking. He should be running to find you somebody to find a maid, or let me get my wife something. Whatever she says she want, I'm gonna get it, because he knows the magnetism. I'm making my wife happy. That's what the husband should be saying every time. Because men are electric mostly. They're not magnetic. If you pay attention to the formula, start paying attention to couples. If it start really paying attention to them, if the wife looks happy. And I'm not talking about necessarily the way she looks, but how happy she is with that person. Look at the man. If he looks healthy, if he's vibrant, if he's lively, if he's, he's not depressed and he's not looking sick. Look at the couple. If the man is constantly losing jobs or just not working and don't want to work and all this, wife, wake up. If the wife is always taking care of the house and tired and all this stuff, and the man is just doing whatever he wants to do, that is a misalignment. The man is the magnet. The woman is the electric, and you should be swapping places. That's just the truth. You got to learn your magnetic power as a woman, which means it goes to whatever else. So you need to practice. If you want whatever you say you want, it starts with what you desire, the desires of your heart. What are the desires of your heart? And when you write down the desires of your heart, do you believe that you can have them now? When you believe and know that they're yours, that's when you can start manifesting. At the moment, and see, people got different terms of manifestation, and both of them are kind of right. It just depends. Manifestation is when you know that it's coming. That it's just any day now. I always say that the key to manifestation is that when you see it in your mind's eye any day now, it's on the way, any day now. Or manifestation can be when you see it. I subscribe to the former. I subscribe to any day now. That when I see it in my mind's eye, I sit there until, because Jay, how do you manifest? How you manifest? I manifest by seeing myself in it. That's why I don't necessarily manifest with money. I mean, I don't focus on money. I focus on me on the other side of the money. And the money comes to fulfill the desire. If I'm supposed to even have the money, because sometimes it gotta do a switcheroo on you, and you'll get in or get to the thing or get the thing without money being involved. Because she just gave me this car for free. Like, some people don't think they can manifest a brand new car for free. They really don't. They don't think that. They gotta look at credit. I gotta get my credit. I gotta get it. Now, when you look at that, so let's say that is the case. If you want to manifest a new car, the how steps in immediately. You think about credit. You think about, I gotta have money down. I gotta have this. Oh my gosh, I gotta. So your brain starts calculating, because that's based on history. That's how you always got a car. Because to even think on that level, you got to conjure up a whole lot of energy. That's a lot of energy, because that's just think about the draining of the energy that it takes to get something like that. You got to do a lot of mind work, especially if you've never done it before. But once you learn how to do something like that, you can't go back to a little bit. Michelle, what happened to you last week? Be specific. I want to know. Calissa says start with the end in mind. Yes. Jessica said reminds me of the book Ask and It Is Given. I love this discussion. I think that this is the thing that y'all don't realize, is that this entire realm is nothing but a manifestation of different dimensions. There are millions and trillions of dimensions going on at the same time. That's why you got one person that's saying that the eggs are high and the gas is expensive, and you just go right up to the pump and pump. Because in your reality, like, that's why entrepreneurs, it costs more energy to cut back on expenses than it does to make more money. Like, you literally can just make more money. Right, Zoe? She said, I manifested both of my cars. Absolutely. I can see people now going to Zoe's DMs. How you do that? Girl, what do you mean how? I just said. I just saw what I wanted. And sometimes that's why they tell you to go and test drive cars, because you need to invoke the feeling. And it's not invoke the feeling of, oh, this is a really nice car. Invoke, like, this car is mine. I just need to get in it and feel my way in it and say that this is my car. Right. You gotta call down the feeling. That's how I used to manifest, like, business accounts and stuff. I used to see myself actually signing contracts and working with them on the other side. I didn't go into like, oh, I'm so scared, and I didn't care about none of that. I bypassed all of that and said, they are my client. And what was the feeling? Yes, Sasha. She said, we in one dimension we are poor, but in another dimension we are wealthy, which are, because we're moving different timelines in this realm. There are no timelines up in the spirit realm. There are no timelines up there. There's no time. There's no time. So, because if you go up and you're able to orbit the earth, the earth is going to be doing its turning thing. And that turning is a day, but you up there still. Hours and hours are going by and you still up there because you can see the earth turning. Like it's slow, but you can see it. Or whatever it's doing. But you're looking at it from a bird's eye view. So the world is doing what it's doing. You get to choose what timeline you're going to be sitting in. Because I'm going to tell you this, you can go from embodiment to embodiment. You can be, this is why I tell people, if you can manifest a house, if you can manifest money in the mailbox, if you can manifest somebody coming up to you and giving you a check without even asking you, what do you need? And it's exactly what you need in order to get something done, you can manifest whatever you want. Y'all have had endless amounts of testimonies. That you've gotten things. That's what we call miracles. Miracles are spontaneous. You want to get so good at manifestations and the law of assumption or law of cause and effect, or what is the law of one, law of vibration, because everything is vibrating and everybody is law of action is in alignment to inspired action because you act in accordance to what you think. Right, Sasha. Veronica said sometimes I wake up thinking I have more money than I have. Actually, start looking for it. Like, and not even looking for Veronica, but looking. I mean, okay. So let's start here. If you are sitting here and you're saying, "I need more money," I really do. I don't have any money left. I'm not doing that well. Look at. Okay, so invoke the feeling of having money right now. Like, how does it feel to have 15, 25, 30,000 liquid in the bank right now? Like, look at your bank account in your mind's eye and see the $20,000 sitting in there. Now, the thing is, the money is there. That's the truth. Did you hear what I said? Even though you can see it in your mind, I don't care. Like, don't think about nothing else, but seeing the money in your bank account, like pull up your bank, like log in your mind. This is good right here. I'm trying to help you. Log into your bank account in your mind. Normalize it. Like settle yourself in seeing it. Now, right at that moment, I want you to stay in that feeling right now because I'm going to tell you this. This is where some of y'all going to drop off in terms of what you saw, what you see, that $20,000 added. I'm not talking about $20,000 just in your bank. I'm talking about whatever is in your bank account before you looked at this live, add 20,000 to it. That is the balance as of right now. And some of y'all, it's going to mess with you about this, but I'm going to tell you what just happened. Your mind literally, and I want you to hold it. Don't let go of it yet. I want you to understand that that is the truth. You actually have that much money in the bank account. Now, this is where this right here gonna mess with you. Because some of y'all gonna go and look in your bank account and you're gonna see that it's physically not there. But I'm gonna tell you this. Either you're going to say, I knew it wasn't, like that's just something that Coach Jay just saying, or you're gonna ignore what you see. Because that's a part of it. It's assuming that the feeling of your desire is being fulfilled. I remember Florence Scovel Shinn said this. Florence Scovel Shinn said it is harder when you are approaching the demonstration of what you wanted to manifest, like in that midnight hour, like all night long. Let's just play with something. Let's say you got rent that's due. Okay, rent due today is what? It depends on the law of your state. It's the what? It's the 13th. Let's say you late on your rent and you need to pay your rent, and you got until the 15th, 16th. Your nervous system is absolutely in complete calamity right now. It's in chaos. Because every day you wake up and you're getting closer and closer and closer to the date of your rent being due. Your nervous system is in complete chaos because it's trying to figure out what to do. It's trying to figure out how can you get this money? So most people, if they are not spiritually in their body, or they're not in their body, what they will do is go and borrow money from somebody. They'll go to a payday loan place. They'll try to ask people, call up everybody and say, can you please just help me? Some people get on TikTok live and try to bring up money. Now, it may work, but what your mind just did was create a memory that every time you need money, you get into a bind, you have to go tap into places where you have to wreck your nervous system, hoping that somebody to give you some money, feel sorry for you. That's not how you want to empower your body to hold a memory. Or put yourself in deeper debt with a payday loan place or check cashing place in order to get your money to live. That's not where you want your memory to be encapsulated. You need to be able to empower yourself to go into a higher timeline to draw in that much money so that your mind can go there in a higher timeline next time, which will not be a less time, because next time you're going to tell yourself, I'm never, ever going to manifest my rent. I'm going to always be on time. So you're going to get to a place where your body will have to surrender. This is why it said that, what the scriptures say, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Y'all know that scripture? Okay, so that's because a lot of people, that manifestation has not yet arrived. So what happens is that when you cry, a lot of times y'all be crying at night, you hoping for a manifestation. The crying actually releases hormones that make you feel better. And it's a part of a surrendering process. It's a contrite spirit. This is good right here. This is good teaching. It's a contrite spirit. This is why many times you can get what you manifested after you do a good cry. Y'all quiet. I hope this helping you. I'm figuring it in. You have to realize that the crying is not something you also want to normalize either. Because you don't want to be in a state of panic every time you manifest. This is the why. What would the opposite be? Pride then? No, the opposite would just be knowing. It would be knowing that it's going to come through, but you also have to have a vehicle by which you are sowing seeds and the harvest comes. So this is why business is so important. This is where it gets to building vehicles and avenues in order to get what you need. I remember T.S. Stefano talked about this too. He stated that money is supposed to bring an added piece of joy to your life. Like, it's supposed to add the experience of joy. If money is bringing in the experience of just paying on time or paying my bills, I'm going to manifest a life where I never have anything extra. I'm always just going to be paying the minimum or making arrangements. You got to get out of that. That's what I be talking about. Like, you got to get out of that. I'm just doing enough. Because some of us, like, we think God is just, he just called me up on my rent. I was able to pay rent on time. Or, God just, he made sure my lights didn't get turned off. Is that how you see God? Like, what do you need to embody that you live a life of more than enough? Which means that you always, you got to get to a place where you feel like, I always have money left over. I'm always able to invest in other things. I'm always able to have a great time. Because being broke and being poor, we think puts us closer to God when it actually puts us closer to depending on other people. Because we're always running to and fro to be inspired by somebody else and hoping that people will see us and say, oh, let me give her some money. No, that's not how you navigate the spirit realm. This is why you need to learn that everything is in you. I remember Reverend Ike said this, and I thought this was so key. God has nothing else to give you. When he said that, when I first heard that, he used to trigger me. That's when I was still kind of in religion. And I was like, what? That is not true. Yes, it is. And then when I started growing and maturing in my spirituality, I said, no, God has nothing else to give you. He already gave you everything. God already gave you everything to do and to create. Like, it's already in you to do more. And all you need is your mind and your mouth. Your mind and your mouth is the least. Emotional people tend to move under the heart chakra down. They tend to live by the root. Root chakra, when it's clogged and off, you tend to do things like beg for money and ask people for money. You got $20 you can give me right quick and I just pay you back. Why $20? Right? I just need gas money to get to this. That's root chakra. Instead of saying I need $20, it's gonna show up in exactly the right moment. Next thing you know, 5 minutes later, you see $20 on the ground. You get it up and go put gas in your car. Like, literally, you can just say, I need this. And exactly, Tasha, Jesus literally, like, he can manifest like that. If you turn water into wine, that and this is the thing, Jesus actually said this. He said, you will go and do greater works than I. We tend to skate right over that statement. He said, y'all will be able to do the same thing I do plus more. And he was, quote unquote, half God. That's what y'all said. So what makes you? That's why Jesus was like, he didn't want to, like, people to worship him. He didn't want people to grab onto him and depend on him. Like, I'm gonna teach this and I gotta go. People tend to skip right over. He said, you will go and do greater works than I. You will listen to what I just said. You will go and do greater works than I, which means you're going to be better than me. Only Jesus can do it. You can do it. Do you know what's this in Jesus? If Jesus can't do it, I can't. What? Jesus, I need you to fix this. You got it. I mean, I didn't say it. I mean, I didn't say it. People tend to skip over it because, again, it's Piscean cult. It's that mindset. I gotta, somebody else got to do it for me because I don't have the patience to even learn how to do it. You can take anything from out there and bring it here. It's already like in the quantum field. When you think of it, I'm getting ready to close. When you think of it, and it's a desire that can be felt in your body, that's how you know it's between an idea and a God idea. A God idea is something that you can't let go of. It won't turn you loose. But something that you want, and it's like, I gotta have it. Like, I know that it can't leave you, which means, and I remember my old mentor said this. He said, the moment a desire comes to you, the manifestation is ready to appear, which means that the time you get desire, that you say, I'm ready to step into this, I'm ready to become this, I'm ready to enroll in this, I'm ready to join this, that is the time where the money is here. You just got to call it in. This is why when it was time for me to step into it, my desire was so heavy that I was like, if I don't do this now, I'm not going to do it. And I didn't have a dollar that much. I had $130 to my name. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And all I did was say, God, I need to do it. I need to do this. And the money came in 24 hours. I had to sleep in it because what happens is many times our bodies is too shaken up. Our bodies really tell us what's up. Our bodies don't believe us until we start manifesting things. So when you say, I need this or I want to do something, your body lines up with she's ready. She's ready to step into, because it's a part of your higher timeline. You're ready to go upward. You're ready to ascend. So at that point, the body has to be like relaxed. That's why I've always told my clients, like, when you say you want to go to sleep, take a nap, go take a nap. Why do I say take a nap? Because your body needs to relax so that the spirit can go and get it. Not your soul. You see, I didn't say soul. I said your spirit can go and grab it. Your spirit has to, the body and the mind has to surrender. So that's why you have to go to sleep. Force yourself to go and take a nap. When you say you want something and it's like, I got to get it, feeling is the secret. Sleep will bring it in. This is why many times I used to wake up and I used to have a client send, like, I would clear $5,000 after a nap. I would clear $8,000 in a day. I remember my client said that she, went to take a nap and she had 3 or 4 clients that had enrolled in her program, like just that fast. She took a nap overnight. You can't say, oh my gosh, I need, I got to pay my rent tomorrow. And you said, and you surrender and you say, God, listen, I have tried everything. I have inboxed everybody. I have put out an email. I have reached out to, and I remember one time, this was a couple of years ago, this was maybe 3 years ago, I had just moved to this place. And I remember just having this, and I went to sleep and I said, I'm telling you, I got to a place I was like, I am not gonna like go back and forth with God about this, because I know we ain't going nowhere. Like, that was my whole mindset. I'm not moving. So you're gonna have to, I don't know what you're gonna have to do, because I tried. I tried to listen to my intuition. Obviously, I'm wrong. I woke up the next morning and I have 3 honey book notifications out of nowhere. And I'm like, I ain't have nobody in my pipeline. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get this done because I ain't got nobody. Y'all, I looked and it was a person. It was an old client that had paid her past due payments. She had left the program. Completely went silent. Completely went like ghost. And she was one of my favorite clients. And I was like, what happened? Like, did I do something wrong? That was when I was like really questioning. Like, she just dropped off the face of the earth. And she was like, I can't do it anymore. Da, da, da. This woman got a job. She told me after the fact. She said, I got a job. And she said, I had to get myself to work because something had happened. And she said, but the first thing I said, that when I get paid, I'm going to have to pay Coach J back because I do want to return at some point. This woman paid all my invoices in one swoop. All my past due invoices, they were just sitting. It was like, y'all, I'm gonna tell you how far back it was. It was 4 months prior. And it was not only enough to cover rent, but it was, I had money left over. Don't you know that was a speed shot? You don't know how it's going to get done. But God had to use a willing channel to get it done. Let's go. I'm about to run. Literally. That woman had past due invoices for 4 months. I didn't even know she had them. That's how detached I was. Like, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna get done. I don't know. I ain't got nobody in my pipeline that could be a potential client. I don't know. What is going on? I mean, I was like, I went to bed and I said, I'm going to bed. And I'm telling you, we ain't packing. I'm just telling you, God, I'm not packing. I'm not. We're gonna be right here. So what's up? I'm going to bed and I'm not gonna think about this no more. Y'all went to sleep and I had the best sleep ever. I forced myself to go to sleep and just relax into sleep. At that point, when I relaxed into sleep, my mind and my body went to bed. Spirit had to go had to go and put it. I need a vessel. And that's literally what happens. Spirit go and find somebody to do this. And there's got to be a willing vessel. There's always, and this is what you need to start telling yourself, there's always a willing vessel. The vehicle was the business. I had people going in and out of the business, clients in and out. This client that left my program 4 months before without a trace, I didn't even know where she was. And I said, how she just up and leave? And then I said, you know what? Okay, we just got to move on, it is what it is. The invoices was sitting there, y'all. I didn't even pay attention to them. She wasn't even a factor in my mind of how I was going to do it. I didn't even think about it. I wasn't even in her proximity. And I woke up. I wasn't even looking for the phone. I just happened to get up and I just looked and I saw Honeybook, like new payment from. I was like, who is this? Like, what? I mean, I just screamed, what? And of course, me being me, I started crying. But that was, but that was a moment that I said, it does take surrendering. Especially when you get into those types of moments where you have to let go. And that's when you have to go into the realm of trust. You live a trusting life, right? You live a trusting life. But the thing is that if you don't start seeing God as the provider and the protector spiritually over your home, especially if you are a woman who's by yourself, I have to be provided for. That's why I always kind of tell my clients, like, you know, we are the feminine embodiment of who we are. And if you want to get into a space where you do see God or principle as a personification of the masculine, you can have that in order to keep your nervous system still. And this is exactly how I was able to stay in business for so long. Because I'll tell people, I was a woman who was always like, I didn't have to worry about stuff because I had a husband, you know, that provided stuff. I didn't have to worry about like how bills were going to get paid or, so I just embodied that energy. I said, God is responsible for my dwelling. God is responsible for making sure my bills get paid. I don't have to go and look for what God is doing in my life. I don't have to go and look. Are you going to pay? I'm not here to micromanage God. God created the universe. Why would he let me go? Like, why would he not pay my light bill? That doesn't make any sense. The same God? Really? Nope. No. Doesn't make any sense to me. And even if you are married, you know, and you just God embodies, like my husband embodies God. I mean, and that sounds really, if you're not careful, people think that you're trying, don't turn your husband to an idol. No, it's kind of what it is. Like God is in the form of the husband. You can totally have that. I have a different relationship with God than most other people do. Like I ain't here. Like if I had a husband in the home, I'm not gonna go to him every month and say you got the rent paid. I'm not gonna go and micromanage God because the rent is gonna get paid. I got to want a vacation. And I go off the scripture. If you want to go to the scriptures, when he said that Israel, don't forget your first husband, because he always provided a way for them, right? So I don't have those types of going back and forth. I got to a place I just said, no, everything's gonna be fine. I'm not here to go back and forth with God. Why would I do that? That don't make no sense. I mean, God is providing people all this stuff. Why? What makes me so different? Nothing. That's why you got to have your own relationship with God. That's why they say you have to have a relationship with that energy. You have to have a relationship with that source. I ain't did nothing wrong. I don't have to, I'm just so meek and God, please do it. And I'm not worthy. Yes, I am. Oh, here we go. Yes, I am. You kidding me? Why would I not be worthy? That's why I look at stuff like royalty, like Queen Charlotte and all that, because you know what? Them folk didn't go and lay on the throne and beg. Oh God, Lord, please. I ain't doing all that. Don't you know that they had a stance? That's why I said if you are supposed to be a child of the king, that's what y'all say. Y'all said child of the king. When did you start begging the king for stuff? If you're a child, you're supposed to automatically get the inheritance. I don't understand. That's one thing I never understood. Like, how are we supposed to be begging, Lord, please? If I find favor in your sight, I'm not doing all that. My juice. Lord, God, please, I know I sin. God, do it. I'm going to bed. This is why I declare and decree and I go to bed. Law of assumption states whatever you assume is true becomes your reality. I don't know how we getting here. I don't know how I'm getting this vacation, but I need to book it by this date. And I'm seeing the tickets in my hand. I'm seeing the tickets in my inbox. I'm seeing myself boarding the plane. I'm seeing myself at the hotel. I'm already there. Why would you beg and plead the king of, now this is what y'all said, the king of kings and the lord of lords, the law of all laws, because your crown chakra is blocked. The crown chakra is the I am. Reverend Ike is the king of saying that I am. Whatever comes after that, God is not going to give you what you want. God is going to give you after that I am. That is a principle. I am is law. I'm going to say this. I got to get off of here because it's almost 10 o'clock. This is ridiculous. Because I know y'all got stuff to do and I got stuff to do. Because I know y'all like, wait a minute. I'm going to tell y'all this is going to mess with you too. So I am that I am. Okay. I am that I am is a common English translation of the Hebrew phrase, I am who I am. I will become what I choose to become. I am what I am. I will be what I will be. I create whatever I create. I am the existing one. That's what I'm saying. Do y'all even read y'all Bible? Because a lot of y'all don't. And you forget who you are. If I'm the child of the king, identification, I am. If I am in the royal, what Jesus said, I of a royal priesthood, I am joint heir. That's what y'all said. That's what your Bible say. I'm joint heir. So which means that I'm not going to sit up in bed. If Jesus went first and did the, he was, y'all said he was sacrificed, then everything that comes after, I should be able to just get what I know. My mind and God is connected. I am part of the Christ. It's gonna mess with you. I am a child of a king. So why am I going to be lacking? That don't make no sense. Why am I going to be lacking? Why am I lacking? That's why I want to see no more on my timeline. If you writing this kind of stuff, I'm going to hide you because I'm not here for it. Because God wants a person that is pure in heart. No, God wants his children to speak up and say what they want. You're here. You are here in a realm that's a slave planet. You want to get to a place, you want to get so good at this that you ain't got to lift a finger. You just get whatever you want. Don't you know that's a enlightened period? You ain't got to do nothing but just receive. I don't want to see it on my timeline. You got to be clean. God wants some person that's clean. No. So why is there Rockefellers? Why is there Vanderbilts? And don't you dare say they're gonna get there. They're gonna get their reward. Stop. Now they just because they up there, coach, don't mean stop it. Because they got a dynasty. They are God. That's how they roll. I am God. Don't you know that everybody got that same power? I am God. I let there be. Let them have dominion in the earth realm. They were made in my image. When Maddie looks in the mirror, she don't see somebody else. She sees herself. She may resemble me a little bit. She really resembles her dad, but she sees herself. The image is in the mirror. Your body is the representation of desire. It's the manifestation of desire. Did you know that? Your parents had no idea what you were going to look like. They just had to have each other. They just had to have each other. And when they had to have each other, you were born. That's your first lesson in manifestation. Your mother felt you in her womb the entire time. She loved you before you got here, before she saw your face. It was an embodiment of the mother, which is why also men, which is the same principle, some men do not become fathers until they see the child. That's why men don't get happy until they see the child after it's born, after they take its first breath. Women become mothers when they're carrying because they start to embody caring for the child before it gets here. This is majority. I know there are exceptions. Please just roll with what I just said. That's why when women are pregnant, they already feel like they're a mother. They already, and then they start nesting towards the end of the pregnancy on the arrival, which is why that whole manifestation principle teaches you right there. When women get ready to have their baby, when they know that it's the time of demonstration is coming nigh, she starts to go to the store. She gets her little stuff. They have a baby shower. She starts fixing up the room, get in the cradle, get in the bassinet, get in the bed. The daddy put the stuff together, or whatever, whoever put the stuff together. She start organizing the clothes, getting the Pampers, the wipes, and all of this stuff. You know, everybody come over and try to help clean up, because the manifestation is ready to appear. Watch mothers who are pregnant, and they call it the nesting stage. This is what happened to me when I knew Maddie was getting ready to come on. I was 8.5 months pregnant. And I don't know, I got up with it. It wasn't even like I was thinking about it. I got up knowing today is like, I need to go ahead and start. I started going through the stuff and saying, okay, this is the bag. We start packing the bag. I washed my hair so I can have my hair ready for labor. I looked at what I'm going to wear to the hospital. I looked at where I was going to bring home to the hospital. I started packing my bag, getting underwear and all this other stuff. And then the nursing stuff and all, you start preparing. This is a part of why you ain't getting what you want, because you're not preparing for it. You can't ask for clients and your automations and stuff ain't set up. You can't ask for more clients. If 10 clients wanted to enroll in your program today, would you be ready to receive 10 clients? I would be ready to receive 10 clients today. I will be ready. Link is done. Everything is done. Emails are automated. All they gotta do is go. You're expecting. If I say this is coming, and then the very next day I went into labor. We had to get to the hospital. I had my bag packed already. My hair was done. I just had to go ahead and get there. Expect what you are asking for. I had already had in my mind that I was going to nurse. I had already had in my mind that if it hurt, I'm going to get the epidural. I am not finna go through this pain. I don't care. I just want the baby to be healthy so we can get on. Y'all got to start expecting. And this is the thing, the law of assumption, I'm assuming this to be true. This ain't got nothing to do with pride. And Chris, that was a good question. You know, it ain't got nothing to do with pride. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that. It got everything to do with expectation. It got everything to do with embodiment. It got everything to do with, I'm going to get what I want, period. That's the way this world works. If I'm going to be sovereign and walk in this, and see that even mess with you too, because some of y'all don't even like the word sovereign, because you think, I don't want to think that I'm on the line with God. You are a little G in this realm. You have a body. You have a body. That's what keeps you limited to this plane. You can't go out of this realm with this body. It has to go through a process where it becomes a light body. I'm sorry, you just can't. This body does have limitations. But there are no limitations to where you can go, to what you can experience. This is why you've got to start choosing where you're going. You got to start choosing your thoughts. A lot of y'all just need to think new thoughts. How can I do this? You need to think new thoughts. You need to learn, like, and I know this is gonna mess with you too, but YouTube has so many subliminal manifestation, videos, and just look at what the manifestations are. You can record them yourself, but you need to get some sleep headphones at night, and you need to program your mind. This is what I did for 2 years. I did that for 2, maybe even 3 years, and I need to go back to doing it again. But I reprogrammed my mind. I went to bed listening to YouTube and did subliminals. I didn't do the affirmation because the affirmations, will go into your psyche, but I didn't want no words spoken like I wanted subliminal. So it can hide in the music. And it feeds my subconscious. Your subconscious is God. Did y'all hear what I just said? You don't have to tell your heart to beat. It just beats. You don't have to tell your digestive system to digest your food. It just digests. You don't have to tell your blood to go through and make sure that your knees and your, everybody get the adequate blood. It just does it. You don't have to tell your lungs to go up and down. If you do, that means that there's ailments going on. There's a disease, and that's a part of a metaphysical problem. Meta means outside the physical. Meta means supernatural. Metaphysical is supernatural. That's all it is. That's why you gotta live a supernatural life. When you start living a supernatural life, you just start manifesting out the blue all the time. People gonna call you a witch. They're gonna think there's something wrong with you. They're gonna think you're doing too much. She always gives good. She must be doing spells over there. Now ain't nobody doing spells. I just know how to call God down. Just think of all your stuff in a compartment, like in the bank of glory. Everything is already with your name on it. Everything that you desire got your name on it already. God just shoots it down to you. And it materializes in your quantum, in the quantum realm into your physical realm. That's all it is. But you got to believe that you are supposed to have it. That's why you lose stuff too. A lot of people lose things that they manifest because they don't believe that they identify with it anymore. And it has to leave. And so if you don't believe that you are worthy of six figures or worthy of 5 figures a month or 6 figures a month, you're not going to get it. You haven't identified with it. You haven't embodied that. It's simple. It's literally that simple. Actually, manifestations is very easy to do. You just got too many people telling you that you got to do X, Y, Z, that you got a script and you got to, I got to get all this other stuff. I got to pray for 40 days. I got to fast for 21 days. Actually, you don't have to do any of those things. Fasting just lowers your nervous system. It relaxes your nervous system, get rid of all the addictions to sugar and stuff like that so that you can have a relaxed body. That's why a lot of people, when they fast, they get things faster. They get manifestations quicker because their body has been released from an anxious state. You can't manifest from an anxious state. You can't. That's why it's always advised to go to bed. It's always advised to go to sleep at night and you get your manifestation in the morning. The body cannot handle it because it's trying to figure out how it's going to stabilize. Physiologically, your body's always trying to figure out how to. Your body is your greatest enemy. It's your enemy. It's your only enemy. It's not the devil. It's not the devil. It's the devil. No, it's your body. Your body is your enemy. Your body is always going to fight against you. But your body is literally, you have to dumb it down to a part. You have to demote your body from telling, like giving. Your body is trying to give you instruction on what to do. And your body is not the law. Your body doesn't have any power. It's just a vehicle. But some of y'all put too much emphasis and weight and decisions based on your body, and that's not where your body is not supposed to make decisions for you. And that's many people, especially religious people, that's how they navigate. Okay. Ignore circumstances. I don't care about what the bank account says. I don't care. I do not care. I do not care. I don't care about credit. Now you want to get to a place where you do manifest good credit so that you don't, you want to get everything that minimize the low nervous system as much as you possibly can, but I don't care about all that stuff. Get what you're supposed to have. It's already yours. All right. You want to come to the matriarch. This is what we coach on, and I coach individually on this. So if that is what you want to do, if you want to get your life together, come into the Matriarch CEO coaching program. Okay. All right. Love y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Happy Monday. Make some money. Bye.